welcome to Pick Money, the podcast, episode number 30 with my buddy Jake Wambaugh. How you doing, Jake?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to give you a little background on Jake. Then I'm going to let Jake give you a little background on himself. But Jake and I met when Michigan played the University of Washington in the national championship game, which was a good game for the first half, no doubt about it. And I remember saying to you before the game started, now you went to University of Washington, played football there, walk-on, played, successful career, crazy humble. And I said, man, I'm going to gamble on because I bet on everything. And I said, what do you think? And I remember you said, we're good. University of Washington's good. I just don't know if we'll be able to match their talent. Like for full four, like you said early on, we'll see where we are, but like that's a really good football team over there. Yeah. Not that we're not good, but that's an exceptionally good football team over there. And you had met, how'd you meet Zach Twardowski?
Social media.
Social media. You saw a post or what happened?
I had seen something. I'd seen you on a podcast talking about the business.
Got it.
And somehow I caught up with Zach.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Never sold anything before?
Never.
Why were you attracted to life insurance business? What were you saying where you're like, hey man, I'd like to check that out?
So for me, it was building.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to play on Sundays. I got to figure out how to make real money. The barrier of entry was low to get into the business.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then the idea of building something that you can scale and there's, an aspect of passive income and duplication.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So then you get rolling the business. You start selling quite a bit.
Yeah.
You've never sold anything.
Never.
Why was it so simple for you to become so successful so fast?
Well, for me, my son was born about a week before I picked up the phone for the first time. Okay. So I'm like, okay, dude, like you gotta make money. You gotta figure this out. So for me, it was just something that needed to be done. It didn't really matter how you got there, but I knew that I needed to hit. My number was 40 a month. Okay. I was like, okay, what's Hall of Fame? Yeah. I'm like, it's 33 and change a month. I'm like, let me just round up. Maybe you have a bad month, whatever. I need to hit Hall of Fame, be a reasonably successful producer. Got to write 40 a month. You just got to get it done. And so that was my number. It wasn't overcomplicated to me. Zach simplified it, and I just did the work.
So you saw, that's interesting. So you got in the business. You were like, okay, they have this thing called Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And you thought, well, because a lot of people don't think that way.
Yeah.
They get in the business, and then maybe later they're like, hey, what are your levels or how to get Hall of Fame? Why were you sure you'd be able to be a Hall of Fame producer even though you'd never sold anything and you're new to the business?
Well, I think for me, because I knew I wanted to build a business, I knew that I had to have some sort of leg to stand on when it came to recruiting and training.
How did you know you were going to be able to do it, though? I understand why you wanted to do it to build your business. How did you know, I ain't done this ever, but why can't I be a Hall of Fame producer?
I just saw that it didn't. I'd come from, like we talked about, talent, right? Michigan. I've come from a locker room. These dudes are just freaks. Like I could train, eat, sleep, whatever. Still, just never going to be that at that level. And so, from everyone I had seen in the business, I'm like, well, he's 60, he's 22. Correct. He's doing $1 million a month. He's doing $1 million a month. I'm like, this is about as level of a playing field as it gets. My why is at that time, just my son. I'm like, I'm going to get it done. Like there's no talent that, exists in our business. It's just, do you get it done or not?
Well, that's the biggest lie told in business because people will become successful and then they will tell you how special they are because it fills a void for them. Like they have this, this, and I'm not passing judgment, I'm just saying like this, they're in a place where they get good at something that anybody could be good at, and then they tell you how good they are. Yeah. And it actually really cripples their ability to build a business because if it required talent, or if you told somebody how special you are, then you give them the ability to tell you. Because here's the struggle. If I'm in a room and there's 30 of us and you're the best guy in a room and you tell us how great you are, well, 30 of us can decide that we're not great. 30 of us can go, Jake is really good at whatever. He's gregarious, he's outgoing, he's funny. So we can do that, and then you give us the justification to fail. You basically let us know it's okay. You give us the blessing to say, hey, guys, you'll never be as good as me.
Yeah.
So just tell me how great I am, and we'll all be good. Well, the problem is that room of 30, they can't maintain it because they're not making any money.
Yeah.
So then you have to do it with another group of 30. They just keep switching out now because you never, then nobody makes any money. And being in business, we talk about picking money all the time, and it's funny you just said that because you're like, I have my son now. Okay, dude, now I got to pick money. Like now I got to go take care. I got to take care of shit.
Yeah.
I got a kid. I got to pay my bills. Like I got shit to take care of. So now whatever else is in my way, it don't matter. It's me making money for my family, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And acknowledging, and I always tell people when they ask me, because they'll talk to me, something like, man, Jake really does well. And I go, yeah, dude, and you said it before we even started the podcast. I said, what was your number? It says this is 30th episode. What's your number? And you said, was it 50?
53.
53. So I'm like, all right, we're in episode 30. Come back at 53. And I said, you said, man, I really wanted, so you said, I really wanted, your number is 19.
Yeah.
It's the one you like.
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you have 19 at the University of Washington?
I was a walk-on. You don't have much of a choice. You just...
And what'd you say? You said, I was just happy to see my jersey.
Yeah.
I was just happy to have a jersey.
Yeah. Right.
Talk to people that have never done that, because it's true. Like if you're like, baseball is different. Do you ever play baseball?
Couple years.
Okay.
I hit a home run and I retired. I was done.
Good man.
It was one of the best feelings of any sport I've played.
Dude.
All sports. That's one of the best feelings.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you,
something over the wall is...
Dude, I was 20, maybe 4, and I got done college. I was playing slow pitch softball, traveling all over the country. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. But I still play baseball.
Yeah.
And I would pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not hitting because like I'm really serious about this slow pitch travel stuff all over the country.
Yeah.
And I want to mess up my swing. And I'm playing. We're playing in 10. Play for this team in the city league. They call it the Eastern Connecticut Major League, which was just a bunch of dudes that were able to play some college ball playing baseball. And we only had 9 guys. And I'm like, bro, I pitch.
Yeah.
Y'all DH for me in baseball. I don't want to fuck up my softball swing. And I was not I could hit, but I wasn't a power hitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the base is loaded, and I have to hit. It's 9 guys. And I'm like, dude, I hope our 9th guy shows up, so I got to hit. So they changed pitchers out as dudes pitching, and the ump, who ended up being, he was the all-time hits leader at the college I went to. He was crazy. Risley's last name, nuts. He was umping. And he was like, what do you think? I said, I'm going to hit this motherfucker in the street. And I wouldn't even swing at a baseball bat again. I probably hadn't been in a batter's box to swing at a baseball in 2 years.
Yeah.
And this kid throws me a fucking fastball in the middle of the plate. Dude, I never hit a ball so far in my life. But the same as you, I never, ever in a competitive baseball game again ever swung a bat.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will pitch. I will not hit. We will forfeit. We'll take it out.
Yeah.
I'm ending on that swing.
Yep.
Right there. Yeah. Same thing with basketball. I was not, and I went and go to play the men's basketball game by the greatest guys for like 34 points one time, and I was like, dude, I retire. I'm done. Like, I'll never, ever do better, and I'm not even a basketball guy anyway. But in baseball, no different than football, you can walk, if you get me to walk in and I hear dudes hitting, you can tell who they are.
Yeah.
I don't have to see them. But that's God-given. Now, they're working hard, don't get me wrong, but same with you. There's guys that could be in there 18 hours a day. They're still never going to be that.
Right.
The men and women in business that I've seen that are freaks from a success level, rather, it's not because they're talented.
Yeah.
What has been some of the biggest surprises for you running business? First of all, how much will you make this year, 2025? Like, what will your income be?
Probably 7 figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were playing football at University of Washington, walk on, trying to find a way to make a living, thinking about your future, do you think you'd be making $1 million a year?
No.
Never crossed your, did you think, man, maybe it would just, what were you hoping? I get out of college and make myself a couple $100,000 a year, pay my bills, live my life?
Well, I wanted to go into strength and conditioning. I saw an article the year that we played Alabama in the college football playoff. I saw an article that after bonuses, making it that far in the playoff, that our strength and conditioning coach, our head strength and conditioning coach, made 7 figures. I was like, cool, I'll do that. He wears sweatpants to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I'll try that.
Okay.
And I pursued that a little bit, got my master's in in exercise
But those aren't
science
many guys making 7 figures today.
No. And it's like a long road. To
Yeah,
get there.
dude.
You're like a nomad for 15 years to get a job like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So 7 figures, what have been some of the biggest surprises for you, good or bad?
I think one of the biggest surprises has been, so for me, you know, I wanted to make that kind of money. Like I said, I was like, I'm not going to make it playing on Sundays. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I got to figure it out. But I really wanted to, you know, give my family that life. I didn't have kids at the time. I do now, and I want to give them that. But I think one of the biggest surprises for me has been how powerful it is to help other people do that.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I talk to your son. He gives me a call. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can help you, but for what your dad has done for me, I'm going to sure as hell fucking try. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if I can pay it forward to, you know, managers and other people that I work with, you know, in my business and give them even a fraction of what you've given to me, what Zach's given to me, I'm like, that feels good. And that's legacy to me. It's not, you know, you want your kids to grow up in a castle and they go to whatever school they want. No. It's like, I want this guy that I work with to live right next door, and I want his kids to go to the same school as my kids, and work through other people and help them do the same thing. So the biggest surprise for me has just been how that makes you feel. To sure, you can make good money, but helping other people do the same thing, especially, you know, they have families or will one day. That's been by far and away the biggest surprise of how good that feels.
Well, I think that's let's even take your situation. Had you not met Zach, listen, you'd be working.
Yeah.
You're not going to be but would you have found something else to make you 7 figures this fast? And
definitely not this fast.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
I don't know if ever.
Me neither. That's the thing for me too. I say the same thing. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
So now your kids' lives changed. And that's when it starts messing you up, when you start really thinking like, dude, this is crazy. Because, you know, I think one of the things that shook me about some of the guys that work here is they're like, dude, I want to thank you. And I'm like, for what? And they're like, you know, the bit. I'm like, well, you guys did all the work, the whole deal. And yeah, we built the company great. But they're like, dude, I wouldn't have had kids if I wasn't going to be able to support them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. They're like, no, and I would not have had kids where I was just robbing Peter to pay Paul, living check to check.
Yeah.
They're like, I just know I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So then you start going, wait a minute. Those two humans are here because you found something we put together. You make money doing it. Now you're like, bro, that fucks me up.
Yeah.
For real. Like, I'm like, wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
You know, so I think watching you, and I think the addiction of watching other people go become successful. And I love that part, hearing what they're doing or seeing the look on their face and just seeing the peace. Because finances or bad finances will wreck people.
No doubt.
Wreck them. And from a business building standpoint, what is the biggest thing you've learned about you? We know you love helping people make money, but what is something you've learned about you and your abilities or your capabilities?
I think that I've recognized my talent in compartmentalizing, and you talk a lot about it. You know, separating your personal life from your business, and I have definitely understood, you know, that to be a strength of mine. You know, everybody's going to go through stuff in their personal life, but I think, you know, understanding my strength and being able to still show up, you know, with the same demeanor, the same passion, the same energy to, you know, serve other people in my business and to help them, you know, with theirs has been probably the biggest thing that I've discovered about myself. You know, just
it's a talent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, because I think at the end of the day, life's always going to throw shit at you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think for me, it's been a blessing too, where, because when you're responsible for other people or you're there to help them, it's like a coach you got.
Yeah.
I mean, good coaches didn't walk into your locker room and dump down about their personal lives and bitch, moan, and complain. Then years later, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know his shit was messed up.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know he was doing his job.
Yeah.
Like that was his job. Like his job wasn't to come in. It was, you know, I had an old mentor that said, you can be as fucked up as you want in your car on your way to work. But once you get out of that car and walk in the office, once you get out of that car and walk on the field, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter. Leave it where it is.
Yeah.
When you look at the amount of money in the life insurance business, right? So if somebody's watching this right now and they're not in sales at all, like you weren't, you were interested in building a business.
Yeah.
What are some things you would say to them if you were like walking them through the business opportunity you have? Why should they be so excited? Why should they reach out to you? What are the key points about the business that they should be so excited about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you know, and I spoke a little bit about this in Dallas at convention, but I took real pride in personal production. And the reason for that was I was excited about the business. Like I said, I watched the podcast. I knew about building a business, structuring a business, all that stuff. But I was very excited to be in full control of my income just from selling insurance. And so I think the biggest thing, you know, for people who are going to watch this is, dude, you can absolutely control your income. The power that gives somebody to know, hey, dude, I don't have to recruit anybody. I don't have to do anything. I can come in and understand, you know, learn how to sell insurance, and I can make, you know, 40 grand a month for my family and we'll be good. Like I have the power, the skill set to do that. So I think number one is, you know, autonomy and full control of your income. Just by yourself. You can sell enough insurance to take care of your family, you know, live a good life. And that's why I was excited about the business when I first got into it. And that's why I you know, made such an emphasis on selling so much, you know, $60K a month in my first year, because I was like, dude, I want to be in control. I don't like, you know, relying on other people. Like, you know, I'm not going to depend on this person to pay my bills. And then the second thing is the ability to duplicate. It's like, if you come in, you understand what we do, you learn how to sell. It's not that hard to sit down with somebody and be like, hey, dude, listen, here's a couple of recorded calls. Listen to these. Come sit next to me at my desk for, you know, a day or two. And then like, let's pick up the phone and get you to do the same thing. And so I think, you know, people who are looking to be actually in full control of their income, you know, not relying on somebody to cut them a check to pay their bills every month, and to get into something that's actually duplicatable and scalable with a low barrier of entry financially, I'd be super excited about getting into this business.
Well, and it's funny because when I was introduced to it, I was introduced to the sales side.
Yeah.
Like when you said the idea to build, I didn't even really know. I just heard that you had leads. They had as many as you could get, and I'd make $1,000 when I made a sale on average. But I still think, till this day, what I took the most pride in is no matter what was happening, I could go take care of my family by selling life insurance. Then I also knew that I wanted to lead other people, so why not lead them by example and lead from the front and do all that? But also, you know, there's a lot to be said for autonomy. A lot of people get into business and realize they're not really autonomous.
Right.
Or they get into something and realize they don't really own anything.
Yeah.
Or I get into something, that was always like, if you're in the life insurance business, or you get into the life insurance business, or any business for that matter where you're independent, if they ask you to sign a contract, don't sign it.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, you're an independent contractor. Like, but I'm under contract. I'm like, wait a minute. Dude, say that again out loud. You're an independent contractor and you signed a contract.
Right.
That makes no sense. So there's things that we've done here where it allows you to own 100% of what you own. Like, it's your business. And I think that's what's amazing about this whole deal. And then you get people like you that come in. We have so many nowadays, and you see how many people hit the ground running, and how we've raised everybody's belief level because of the success we've had. And when you start thinking about, you know, you can call people up that ask you for help from wherever you want in the country, your home and office, don't matter to me. You can be sitting outside, that you can go ahead and make yourself $500,000 a year by doing that. That you can gross $500,000, spend 100, net 400 your first year, which is more than the vast majority of people in America make a year. It's mind-boggling. And the business doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter who you are, as long as you genuinely are going to work hard and care about helping people. When you started calling the leads, since you had never sold anything before.
Yeah.
Were you expecting it to be harder? Like, were you expecting that people were going to be like, it was going to be like a bloodbath and cold? Or did you not have that expectation? You just kind of assumed there were leads and
Honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. Zach and I got on a Zoom call. He was like, hey, so I'm going to sell this to you and then you sell it to me. And he's like, you go through this, explain it like this. He's like, now you do it to me. I'm like, okay, it goes like this, it works like this. He's like, cool. I just emailed you a spreadsheet. Just call him and do that. I'm like,
okay.
all right, cool. I'm like I said, my son's like 7 days old.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna
got
sell
no
some
choice.
insurance now. And so I didn't know what to expect. And I had at that time, okay, we do all IUL business. I had one carrier. A lot of the carriers that offer IUL now, they didn't at that time didn't even offer them.
Correct.
So I had one carrier. I had old leads. That's why it works against me sometimes because I'm impatient with like, dude, I had one carrier and I had old leads. Like,
But it's okay to be
let's
impatient.
sell some insurance.
Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could
Like you
put you
said,
back where
have
I
some
was.
respect for yourself.
Yeah, have some respect for yourself.
I'm like, dude, I wrote 43 grand my first month on like an Excel spreadsheet, and I was
Calling some people
through my
up.
phone. I'm like, come on, man. So I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I had to hit my numbers. I had to write 40K a month. That's what I told myself, and I was just assumptive. I've never used a script. I just was like, hey, did you fill this out? I'm just calling to make sure we can get you taken care
Right.
of. Were you looking at it for this or more so for this?
Right.
And then we just take it from there.
Which is what's funny because sales is all about being presumptive, assumptive, right? And I've never used a script either. Never. I've never read a script. I mean, I've never like when the guy I was like, where are we calling from? Tell me, and I just kind of developed. And I just want to talk to you and BS with you. Want you to be comfortable. And I knew you're already afraid. If you like, what are you afraid of? Being like taken advantage of, lied to as a client, like people are gonna steal from you. So I'm like, the way I talk and the way it came about, I knew that it wouldn't make them uncomfortable. But I think that's the biggest part of sales, and that's one of the biggest misnomers is that there is no sales talent.
Yeah.
You know, there is ability to get comfortable with yourself. There's ability to be presumptive. There's ability to be comfortable with people. There's ability to not take things personally. There's ability to just keep dialing no matter what. Those are all, but that's just your willingness to persevere, but it's not a talent. Right. And I think that's what I think a lot of people don't want people to know. I think that they are so busy, they build something or make money so people can tell them how great they are.
Yeah.
And I just want people to go be great. There's no part when you say you thank you, I'm like, well, you're welcome. I appreciate you saying thank you. It's nice of you, but like, just go be great.
Yeah.
Like it's your deal, it's your world. Go be great. And I think when you start to figure out, and you've said it now 3 different times, dude, like I get this kid.
Yeah.
Like at some point in time, there's gonna be things in your life that are going to trigger you to go, it's time for me to pick money right now.
Yep.
Like before this, I didn't have anybody dependent on me. Really could kind of come and go as whatever your deal is. It could be your parents. It could be you got to take care of them. It could be you got a relative. You got something. It could be causes you need to give a certain amount of money to. And you're like, you have to decide, when am I going to go? I'm picking money.
Yeah.
And no matter what else, if somebody called you, you're still going to dial. If somebody said, let's go hang out today, you're still going to dial. If there was a game on, you were still going to dial. You're still going to dial.
Yeah.
Because you decide to pick money.
Yep.
And I think you just have to make that decision in your life. So hey man, well listen, hey, if they want to get a hold of you, anybody's watching this, if you want to get into sales, you want to talk about a guy who is probably one of the coolest team players you ever meet in your life. Very, very humble. He's had an obnoxious amount of success. Guy's going to make $1 million this year in a life insurance business. Didn't have any background in it at all. Has a great attitude for being a Division I athlete who was also really, really good, ridiculously good. He was like, everybody's a freak. You played Division I football at a really good school, so you're really good too. You know, but if they want to get in business with you, want to reach out, want to understand, want to know part-time, full-time, build a business, just sell life insurance, and not just sell, go sell life insurance, make money, how do they get a hold of you, Jake?
Social media, Instagram, just my first and last name, and then 19 at the end. My name will be somewhere here in the video, I'm sure. But I think the biggest thing, for people that we want to work with is, like Sean, you said, pick money. Like I think once you've gotten to the point in your life where there's some sort of juncture, whether it is a child, whether it is, you want to retire your mom, whatever it is, whether you're tired of depending on other people for, a paycheck and to take care of yourself.
Or you're
and
just
your
tired of
family.
watching other people get rich.
Yeah, or that.
And you're like, fuck it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching other people's families do it. Why can't my family do it?
Yeah. And I think, if you're at that juncture and at that point, there couldn't be a better business to get into than our business.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for being on, man. Thanks for being on Pick
Appreciate
Money.
you.
You're unbelievable. Love being in business with you, man. Thanks. Like, subscribe, share. Find Jake Wambaugh. He's not hard to find. Yes, we'll click on it. We'll put his link on here. We'll put his social media. Everything you need. But we hope that you decide to start picking money for you and your family. And if you're already doing it, help other people do it and make you feel really damn good. So appreciate y'all.